Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of our School Librarian Appreciation Group. I'm Colette J. from Mrs. J in the Library and from Librarians Teach.
And I'm Carrie White from Library Learners and Librarians Teach. Welcome to all of our librarian friends and to Catherine Barney, Senior Social Media Specialist for Demco. We're so glad you joined us, and we would love to hear about how Demco can help school librarians.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me today. I feel after a couple years working in my home office and not going to any trade shows that this is such a great opportunity to connect with everyone here. So thank you again. So I do have a little just short presentation prepared to kind of give you an introduction to Demco, to who we are and what we can, offer to help you do your job the best you possibly can and maybe inspire you a little bit along the way. So just real quick about myself, I've been with the company for about 17 years and I've worked in a couple different areas from catalog production to e-commerce and digital marketing. And then most recently, I've just been focusing my time on social media. And so if you ever send a message to one of our accounts, I'm the KB that's responding to you or commenting back on Twitter or on Instagram. So that's me. So about Demco, a little bit about us. We have been in business for over 117 years. So I came on right about, well, at the 100-year mark. Um,
Oh my.
that seems crazy. um, and we really are just a team of education enthusiasts who are really just trying to make your job easier and help you empower the communities and students that you're serving. We have a facility in Madison, Wisconsin, which is our corporate headquarters, which is where I worked until the pandemic hit. And now I'm in my lovely home office here. We also have a facility in DeForest, Wisconsin, where we manufacture products and ship all of our stock products. And we've been doing that there since 1965. And we just have a long history of sharing insights and advice and encouraging our customers to join us in professional development. And we love meeting all of you at every chance we get at our trade shows and different online events. So we are currently working on a little reading National Reading Day posts for social media. So these are some of the pictures that I took of our coworkers. I just got finished reading Black Cake, so that's me. And then the picture on the right, I was just trying to remember if it was ALA or TLA, but it was one of our shows this year. So that's a couple of our product managers and sales leaders having a good time in the new rocket ship. And then I'm just going to kind of walk through a couple of the different areas that we focus on. So library supplies has really been one of our main categories for a really long time. And within this area, it's really about helping you make your collection last as long as possible. So we have book jacket covers and label protectors, and we sell glue and everything you need to protect and repair.
And tape.
However,
Book
and tape.
repair tape.
Oh my gosh, the tape, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I even use it at home. Like I love my Demco Premium and my 3M. I love all my book tape at home. Um, and I have kids, so we craft a lot with that kind of stuff too. But we also have created a whole series of book repair videos that we're actually in the process of updating. So you can see across the bottom, I don't know how small it is, but they were uploaded 12 years ago. So they are they're just a little bit dated at this point. So we just re-recorded all of them and we're going to be updating them. Our branding has changed and fashion has changed a little bit. And so those are coming out real soon. But one thing that I am excited to also share is that we have a whole brand new set of bookshelf dividers. We learn so much by watching you through social media and, in other ways that we connect. But the bookshelf has changed, right? Like it's no longer just a row of spines and labels. Like genreification and, face out, and really marketing your collection is huge. So the bookshelf dividers is kind of like it's a step into really displaying in a new way, which has already been happening, but it's our new designs and a product that we're manufacturing into Forest that we're bringing to the market right now. And it's also in a category that we're planning on expanding right now. So watch for a lot of new things in that area.
Can I just say that I think the YouTube videos on book care repair is so helpful, because that was something, even when I was in library school longer ago than I'd like to admit, that was something we did not have practical instruction on. We didn't learn how, like, there's better ways and not as good ways to fix a ripped page or a spine that's coming loose. And
Yep.
sometimes you do have to just call it and be like, all right, this one's done. But having videos available to say, like, oh, I could maybe save this, and it just needs a little binding glue or some Demco tape. Honestly, I think I would swear by Demco tape first, as the very first thing I bought from Demco. I bet that's the thing I use the most.
That's awesome. And we call it this, but only because we learned it from librarians, but it's the things you didn't learn in library school is what
Right.
it is,
Yes,
that we've
100%.
been trying to like help fill the gaps on. And
Mhm.
also, like, I mean, it helps if we're going to provide a product that we provide the resource on how to use it. It's in the new dynamic shelving category. So that is
Cool.
new on demco.com, and that's where you'll find the bookshelf dividers and other things that are going to be added to that category very soon. So watch for that. Some of you may already know Upstart. We're a little bit famous for some of our bookmarks, especially the scented ones, the scratch and sniff.
I have
Do you have a favorite?
so many, so many.
That's
The
okay. I
the
do too.
the fruit ones
Oh yeah,
and the
like
candy ones,
orange.
bubblegum.
It's my favorite. Yeah.
But yes, no, the fruit ones, perennially popular.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the best things about Upstart in general is like we do come out with new, like, seasonal and like new things like all throughout the year, but then we do have a lot of things that really do just like hit at certain times of year and can be used over and over again through the decor and a lot of the incentives. So the perennial, that's a good point too. But
Everyone loves a bookmark, especially if it smells nice.
absolutely. But also with Upstart, we have a huge area on our ideas site where we have activity guides, which, like, if you have a Upstart product, certain products have activity guides that go with them. Basically, you have the product and then the activity guide lays out an entire like library program to go with it. So I think that's something that is probably right up your alley with Librarians Teach and what you're doing, and like those resources are, always available to go
And
along.
to be clear, just in case folks aren't familiar with the website, so that's the main demco.com is the main website. But then there's a section of it. I'm guessing you mean the ideas and inspiration
Yes.
blog.
Yep. Thank you for
You'll just click on
clarifying.
ideas and inspiration, and that's where all of these awesome ideas and things are.
Yeah. Yep. The blog posts, the recorded webinars from the past, and then the activity guides. And then the other one that I wanted to mention was our activity calendars, where for each month we create an early literacy calendar and a kids calendar, which has each day of the month has something fun to do that's related to either a holiday or a library event or an author birthday. It's a fantastic resource to help you in your planning. So, and then the last Upstart thing that I wanted to like actually show in person here is the school library planner that was created by Demco and Christina Holzweiss, who like is the brains behind this thing. And I just kind of wanted to flip through a little bit and show what it looks like on the inside. So you've got your calendar, and for both years, there's an introduction from Christina, goal setting area, yearly plans. Now, it would take me hours to probably flip through the whole thing. There's so much content in here, but action plans and how to like planning a book fair. Every children's lit award is right here. And then it goes into the months. So I won't go through all the months, but each month has the monthly calendar with a little coloring area down below, which is fun for everybody. And pro tip, there's a duck hidden in each coloring sheet, coloring area. And then we've got, so this is kind of like it's school library specific planning and tracking areas. So like budget spent and book and resource requests, social media, reading lists, circulation, very specific to what you need. Then we're going into the weekly. Each week has a different try this. So in August, it was 5 ways to get students to return their library books. Perfect for getting the year started off right. And then an actual daily. Each week you've got the weekly, the daily, and a try this each week. The tips and the amount of content in here, I can't recommend it enough.
So I know some of the questions we've had, is there a way to like, can you flip through it really quickly to see how it looks pretty thick? Like it's a whole year, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've only done this like facing myself. So yeah. Yeah. So here we have like the resources in front, and then you're into like August, and then each week of August. I think that was
like the next month.
Okay. Yeah, so
I kind of like that it has that
because
I'm
super
sure
easy.
Some people might prefer the weekly, like I want to see all the whole week at once or the whole month at once. And other people they want the daily each and every day. What are my classes each day if it changes?
Yeah, and I think this is a good point too. Like, so here's September, you get that monthly view, and then you get this planning thing again. That's September. A very technical terms I have here. And then you go into your like the weekly overview, and then the daily, and then weekly, daily, all like honestly, like seriously, the try it's like the amount of effort and planning that went into like this one, for example, make the most of your local public libraries by working with public librarians to create an integrated experience for your students. Like, and then the tips on how to do it. So if somebody hasn't done that yet, like, I mean, if you've done it, great. But if you haven't, like, it's just,
I think for new librarians, especially, or even early in your career librarians, that's things that the try-its are things like that maybe you wouldn't do your first year because you're just surviving and keeping your head above water. But like later years, like September is the time to reach out to your public librarian so that you can actually plan a thing.
Yeah, and she did like take a lot of time to figure out when the right time is for each of those things. And then throughout, you'll also find some QR codes. Like, for example, this try it has a QR code to go to the resources that she has provided with it. And a big part of it also for this year is getting feedback on what librarians are loving about it or not loving about it. So in the very beginning, there is a place to take a survey like as you're using it, because next year we're already planning next year's, and it's going to be even better.
So. I love that because I think when many people think of a paper planner, they think of it as being static and like, well, I have to make it work for me, or I might not use like when I have a paper planner, like I might not use half of it. And so I'm like, oh, do I want to buy it if I'm not going to use parts of it? But knowing that you're willing to listen to feedback and like you're going to update it with what librarians tell you is important to us. I think that's so key. And like, that makes it all the more useful that we're like making it together with you.
Yeah. So,
and I think in the Learning Librarians group, the most common question about the planner has been, how is it different from a teacher planner? Because a lot of times we see teacher planners, it just has librarian stuck on the cover. And
Yeah.
They
it's not
changed one
that
word.
helpful. Yeah, they changed one word, but I can
Yeah.
hear from what you've shown us, it's very specific to librarians. And I think one of those blocks I saw on the monthly may have been weeding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
that's such a good block.
And
Yep.
that it's so much better to do a little bit each month. Take a little section,
Yeah.
like maybe your 100s of your nonfiction, instead of, oh, I'm going to do the whole library at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mark down what you did.
Absolutely. And, back to the calendar of like events and dates again, like in September, it's already filled in with the important dates. Positive Thinking Day. I can barely read this from here. But Day of Encouragement. TLAP Day. We all know how important Talk Like a Pirate Day is.
Very.
Of course.
And then, just Swap Ideas Day, World First Aid Day, International Literacy Day, and then what months are most, or what celebrations are happening for the month. So, Library Card Sign Up Month started today. So,
I think that's so good too because if the librarian's in charge of like say like morning announcements or something like that or can get on morning announcements, those are easy little bites. Just grab a little thing. Oh, did you know it's Talk Like a Pirate Day?
Yep.
And those are easy ways to kind of keep that stream of kind of fun things
Yep.
coming from the library.
Absolutely. Moving on from Upstart, this is something that well, I don't know exactly how many people know, but I've often learned that some people don't know that Demco has a full service interior design department. We don't just sell supplies, but we could actually reconfigure your entire library. And school actually now too. We do a lot in the classrooms. We actually just completed a huge project in Southern California where we did like dozens and dozens of classrooms over the summer, and it was very, very exciting. But specific to like the library, yes, we can redo an entire library. We could design a virtual space. Like that upper right-hand photo is actually not a photograph. It's a virtual design. And the only way I can tell it's not an actual photograph is that the books on the shelf in the back actually repeat in a pattern. So that would not happen in real life. But by taking your floor plan, the design team can literally come up with any plan you want. But I think the most important thing to know is you don't have to be redesigning an entire library to work with our interior design team and our experts. If you need one or two or three pieces of furniture for or if you need new soft seating, or you're looking to add something fun like the new rocket ship that you saw in one of the first pictures, or in the bottom right picture you can see the play pod. It's like the little house shape, something like that our team can help you find the right fit, size, color, make it work with what you already have. Really just, assess what your needs and goals are and work with you in your budget on any size project. I think that's really important to know. They can also help you find funding. Like we have a grants database that we pay a fee for so that you can use it for free to search for different grants on our website. That's linked in our footer.
I
I'm
think
happy
that's
to
a really good point. I'm glad you mentioned, Catherine, about you don't have to be doing a renovation. Because every time I've gone to the website and
Yep.
seen this section of your library website,
Yep.
or of your website, I've thought, well, we don't have the budget for that. I've kind of like dismissed it as like our
Yep.
library isn't being renovated for quite some time. I just have to live with the configuration I have. But to know that like there is more flexibility probably than I thought, and there's people that could help me with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah, they probably won't do an entire virtual reality design for like one or two pieces, but they'll definitely help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even finding like what pieces could fit in
Yep.
the space you're given, or like, hey, if
Yeah.
you moved these two shelves here, you would have space for this.
Exactly.
Having, I think, a second opinion on that, because I don't know any librarian that's been trained on interior design. I can barely pick colors that look good together myself. So
Same. I live with all gray walls since we built our house.
yeah.
I'm not there with the interior design. Um, but so on the bottom, speaking of interior design, we had a very big refresh in our corporate headquarters. So as a lot of us went home in March of 2020, this space for the 3 photos you see across the bottom used to be all cubicles, and we didn't need that many cubicles anymore because a lot of our team has chose to continue to work from home and come to the office less. So now we have a huge showroom in Madison where we're able to actually put out some of the furniture that we make or that we sell from other vendors and create little vignettes and invite customers in, local customers mostly right now, but we also can give virtual tours of this space. And we're also starting to host some of our like local school districts and different groups in the space. So that's been really rewarding as well. This slide here. This is kind of like a little bit about trends in what's going on with just interiors in general. Um, Very high level, but one thing that we've been creating a lot of designs for are calming spaces. And with, mental health being top of mind more than ever, we needed to be focusing on it more before the pandemic started, and that has only increased. But having a space in your school, sometimes the library is the quiet space where I think students are often sent, from what I've learned. But having a space where it is truly meant for that reason, where people can go, teachers, students, anyone can go and just have a minute and have that space designed for that purpose. That's what the upper left-hand space is. But really, anyone who is looking to like redesign from the bottom up or with new construction, flexibility, collaboration, mobile furniture, flexible seating, these are all things that we're still really focused on. And then having the ability to like break out and zone. And that really works closely with flexibility because these zones can be flexible, like the zones can change as you need them to. But and then I mean the bright colors, I mean who doesn't love the bright colors? But I think a lot of the the Colorscape collection is named the Colorscape collection because that's where like the play pods and the fun like bright colors, and I mean you really can just make it fit with what you already have, and it's a buildable type of collection. So
Quick before we move
sure.
on to
Yeah.
makerspace, I just wanted to also note, I think in elementary when we're teaching all day classes and we're just booked solid,
Hmm.
I don't know about you, Carrie, but I found having like one area, if you can carve out like a calm corner, even that can be really helpful to you, even from a classroom management perspective. Um, or behavior management perspective. So even if you're not getting sent to students to your
Hmm.
library um, to calm down or to de-escalate, you still could have that as part of your thing that you're doing, as part of your systems. And so yeah, it's kind of nice that you could have Demco kind of help you out with like what should be in that space.
Yes, at my school that I was at, which was a Title I school here in San Antonio, that was an expectation for every classroom, including the library, that you would set up a calming corner because we felt like it was an essential part of everybody's classroom management.
I love that idea, by the way. That like like that your school was like, hey, we're gonna make this a priority.
And,
Everybody should have a space somewhere.
and it's not like the old, you're in trouble, go sit in the corner. It was like,
Hmm.
you just need some time.
You
It's
just need
we
a
all
break.
need that sometimes.
Yep.
And so
Need a couple
go ahead and
breaths.
take it.
I love it. Yeah, making it more positive than punitive is nice too.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
So cool. And so I'm excited about you talking about makerspaces, Catherine, because anyone who follows me knows I love makerspaces.
I do too. um, so when it comes to Makerspace, and I was preparing this slide yesterday, I went to our ideas site, which Colette was referencing, like from demco.com. You can either go to ideas.demco.com or from our regular website. It's in the header and it just says ideas and inspiration. But I clicked on the tag makerspace just to see like how many pieces of content do we have, and it was over 100. I stopped counting over 100. It was just a few more, but those are all pieces that have been created. And I mean, it's probably been a decade now since we've been writing about this topic or presenting webinars. In fact, that was one of my jobs years ago, is that I was the webinar producer. So this is also very fun to be on here with you today because of that. But a lot of the content is written by your peers. So Diana Rendina and the nerdy teacher, Nick Provenzano, and Colleen Graves. And I mean, there's too many for me to mention, but just like wonderful, smart people who have partnered with us to bring you information about their makerspaces, their successes, their wins, what they've learned. So I mean, we can sell all the furniture and storage and high tech and low tech tools, but it's really like how you use them and what type of programming you're doing. And I mean, you can start very small if you don't have anything yet, or you can take it to the next level. And I mean, Nick Provenzano in his school, he has 3 rooms for his
Oh
makerspace.
my.
It's
Wow.
like
Wow.
it's an ideation, a creation, and a fab lab. I'm not saying the names right. I apologize, Nick. But yeah, 3 different rooms that he's like outfitted, and actually Demco had helped him create and like design those rooms a few years ago. But yeah, it's pretty incredible. But the bottom right picture is actually one of my favorite photos. This is actually a VR rendering that's out on our site, and they call it the Makerspace Nook. So it's got a lot of storage. It's got a table, like a maker table. Those yellow stools look like they're floating because they're magnetic and they stick
Wow.
to the bottom. So how great.
Oh,
So not only is
cool.
the whole table mobile, but for cleanup, you stick the stools and then you can sweep
And you
up underneath
slide
it.
it away.
Slide it away. Yep.
That's genius. And I see
So
hardwood floors underneath that, not carpet,
yeah,
because that
something easy to
you will
clean.
be grateful yeah, if you have that option, you'll be grateful to have a hard surface.
Yep. And then so the bottom left picture is also something that's kind of well, new and different to the Demco offering within the last like year and a half, but it's the Flex Farm. So it's basically a hydroponic growing system, and you can grow I think it's 50 pounds of food in about 4 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And the idea is that you can put it in your makerspace, put it in your science room, you can put it in your library, and then there's an entire curriculum that comes along with it to get the students involved in learning and taking charge of it. And I mean, you could take that anywhere. It could fit anywhere in the STEAM area and in a makerspace. And I mean, you could be creating business plans. It could be giving back to the community. Demco has one, and the first batch we did, we took it to a couple different food pantries, and it was amazing. So that's really cool.
That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it tastes good and it's clean. Like there's no dirt in it. Like when you like
I was just
go
gonna say, when you
pick it,
said
you just pick it and eat it.
hydroponic, as a
Yeah.
gardener, I know what that means, but
Yeah.
so there's no dirt,
Yep.
and it does it need to be by a window, or does it have its own light source?
So it has its own light source. So right now
That's
the one in
sweet.
that picture is open, but you need to actually keep the unit closed most of the day because
For all
there's
the light
one.
to
Yep,
yeah.
there's one singular light that's in the middle, and then you close the lettuce, and or you can grow tomatoes, you can grow basil, you can grow all sorts of different things around it. So then the light is in the center, and then it hits everything around it evenly. So it is kind of like
Okay.
2 halves of a circle that like come closed.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
That's really unique, I think. And even if, especially I know libraries don't often have a window or may not have a window. I
mhm.
had a tiny one in my library. Um, So if you don't have windows, even just having some like greenery, like a
Mhm.
thing that's growing live, sort of makes you just a little happier.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, with the calming space too, like
Mhm.
the flex farm would be perfect
Hmm.
in a calming space just because of the
The
biophilic
and the light even,
design.
yeah. Just like
Yeah.
a happy space.
Yep, exactly. Wherever you are on social media, please give us a follow. And if you have any questions for Demco, um, I'm going to be the one that's going to get your question. So I'll answer it or I will find the answer. So for everybody that has joined us today, we would like to offer you 20% off of your next order of library supplies and Upstart products. So that would include all of our bookmarks. And any other Upstart products, decor, posters. There's a lot of great stuff in there, and library supplies. So, um,
Which is a lot
yeah,
of things. That section and category on your website is massive.
yeah.
Covers a lot of good stuff.
So
I
that's
did have a
good.
question about this because I know someone will probably ask. The
Mhm.
promo code, is that good on purchase orders if they can get a purchase order through in time, or is it just like live orders on the website only?
You can call and use it with a
Okay.
purchase order. You just can't use it on special orders, bid pricing, prior sales, outside of the U.S., and anything outside of those categories. So,
Okay. So it
um,
only apply to
yeah,
those items.
but I don't know how many people have called in, but we have the most fantastic customer service representatives. They're amazing. Um, you call in, you have your purchase order, they will help you through all of it. You give them the code and, let them know you were on this call with Catherine. Most of them know me. I've been there for quite a while. Um, and they will help you out. And if for some reason like the purchase order like has other products on it, they will apply it to just the things that need it to be applied to. They will help you. They will help you out. So
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us, librarian friends, whether you're watching us live or you're watching the replay later on. We're so glad you're here and we appreciate you. Um, our We've got the promo code for everyone to use. So I feel like everybody won that drawing.
And huge shout out, thank you so much to Demco, and thank you, Catherine, for putting this together for us to be able to do these giveaways. And yeah, thank you for donating it, and thank you for your time joining us today. It's been so great to chat with you about how Demco can help support us.
yeah, I again thank you. And if you do have any questions or if there's a way that I didn't mention today and you think that it's something that we should be doing, reach out, let me know. I'd be happy to hear what any one of you has to say. And I thank you very much.
Of course. And we will be monitoring the comments just like we've had in previous videos. If you're watching in the replay and you leave a comment, Carrie and I will be responding to those as well. So we'll keep an eye on them. So, all right. Thank you everyone for joining us.